All right, PA2 students. So here we are. We're going to really focus on subtraction of fractions with regrouping. This is very important and it's going to rely upon your number sense of fractions. So we're going to start with a simpler problem in the orange box. Here we have 1 and 1/8 minus 5/8. Now I have noticed that many of you have been making the mistake of simply reversing the numbers and doing 5/8 minus 1/8. Well, in subtraction, the commutative property does not apply. We cannot switch the numbers around and then have the same result. So we must complete the subtraction as written. But we can refer to our knowledge of exchanges that you learned in lower school about subtraction. We are going to exchange. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw out our wholes. We have one whole, right? And then we now have 1/8 of a whole. So I'm going to move this, and now I'm going to create this into eighths. So now we have 1 and 8/8, but we really only have 1/8. To show that we only have 1/8, I'm going to fill it in with dark blue. Actually, I will fill it in with black because that's what we have. That way you'll see the black on both sides. So anything that is filled in with black, you will see. Pardon me while I move this around. There we go. So we have 1 and 1/8. And from that 1 and 1/8, we now need to subtract 5/8. Well, we only have this 1/8 box over here. That's the only thing we really have. So we cannot subtract 5/8. But what can we do? We can take this one whole now and divide it. We can exchange it now into 8/8. You see that? So what did we do? We took our 1 and 1/8 and we exchanged it. Let me fill in the hole so that you can see. You see here? We have all of these eighths. That's what is shaded in. So now we took this 1/8 and we converted it. We exchanged it. So now we have 0 wholes, but we have 9/8. 9/8. Pardon the sloppy writing. I apologize. Now we can do 9/8. 9/8 minus 5/8. So with our subtraction, 9 minus 5 is 4. 4/8 is our answer. And of course we will simplify that down to 1/2. And to show you now, I'm going to subtract my 1/8. Here's 1/8 I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract the 5/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. That's subtracting. And now you can clearly see that I have actually half the figure left, which is 4/8. So how does that look compared to this one now? Here we have 3 and 1/8 minus 5/8. The only thing that's different between these two is the amount of wholes. Now it's very important for you to keep track of the amount of whole numbers you have with your fractions. So what we're going to do again is we're going to draw out using a bar model. This time we have 3 wholes. I'm going to clone this. So I have 1, 2, and 3 wholes. But what else do I have? I have 1/8 of a whole, right? Do I have all eighths? No. So I'm going to fill some in. I'm going to use a lighter color this time because I feel like the black you don't really get to see too well. So here's the green. So here we have 3 and 1/8. So that's what we do have. From that 3 and 1/8, we need to subtract 5/8. Well, what do we need to do? We need to rename, regroup, just like we do with subtraction of whole numbers. If we don't have enough in the ones, we exchange for the tens, correct? So we don't have enough in the fractions, so we need to exchange a whole. So let's divide the whole into eighths. And again, they're all green because that's what we did have. We did not draw 8 additional ones because then you're changing the original number. We are not changing it. Added together, we will still have 3 and 1/8. So what did we rename it to? How many wholes do we have now? We have 2 wholes. How many eighths? 8, 9/8. So now we renamed our fraction to 2 and 9/8. And now we can perform our subtraction. We can subtract 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. And now we just subtract the fractional parts, just like we did in the drawing. And we highlight what is left, 2 and 4/8, or 2 and 1/2. This is the understanding of the number sense in fractions, and this is what we are going to be working on. It is very important for you to understand what your fractions are and what they mean, and be able to exchange between your whole numbers and your fractional parts. Alright, I hope this helps you, and it is very good to practice as much as you can.